Okay, look, we got some heavy stuff to cover. So let's get right into it, shall we? Nyoibo, in the year of our Lord 2022, Nyoibo has stolen from the FGC. Now, you might be asking, what the hell is a Nyoibo? If you remember earlier this year in July of 2022, this year, there was a big Street Fighter V Invitational in Doha, in Qatar. And it was run, the English stream was run by the Qatar FGC. It took place at Virtuosity, which is the gaming theme park in Doha. And it was run by a company named Nyoibo. Let me bring up the results page so we can see some of the players that went. Shall we? Here's the results page. Of course, this was taken by Angry Birds, Mr. Crimson taking second, Oil King taking third. The rest of the crew was Big Bird, Luffy, Mono PR, White Ash, and Kami. So those were your competitors. Those are your top 8 competitors for the Nyoibo Colosseum, it was called. Now, everything was fine and dandy until we received this tweet. Yesterday, I believe this was tweeted out. Apologies for this getting stretched. I wish I knew how to fix it, but I don't right now. Mr. Crimson tweeted out saying, I wish I never had to do those kind of tweets, but it's necessary. Just heard the info that Nyoibo organization disappeared with my prize money. It's okay. I can move on, but the message to the next generation is ask for your prize money ASAP. Be careful about new organizations. Now, the picture shows him with a check for 1,500 smackaroos for taking second place. Which sucks. This absolutely sucks. This is stupid, right? It's 2022. We should not be dealing with this kind of stuff, right? And the fact that, this is a company that is overseas makes this all the more difficult to deal with. Along with this, Kami, who was one of the people who attended, also came forward and said that they owe him for his flight, which from Doha to the US, I can only assume that it's probably pretty expensive, right? So all this wouldn't be a big deal, right? Like, people haven't gotten paid. There's still time for them to get paid. Unfortunately, not so much. As of right now, if you go to the Nyoibo official website, this is what you're met with. That's it. Nothing else. The Nyoibo brand Twitter page and Instagram page have all disappeared. Everything has kind of disappeared. So nobody's able to get a hold of Nyoibo anymore. They've legit just been wiped off the face of the earth. In the tweets with Mr. Crimson, his contact there was saying that everybody got fired and they took away everybody's ability to go into the social media channels and all of this, which is pretty awful. Now, I have to give credit here for this to Sharpie. Sharpie reached out to me to talk about this specific situation, and she reached out to the Qatar FGC channel. The Qatar FGC channel ran the English stream, and they had a couple of things to say. As soon as I find the freaking thing. You figured I would be a little bit more organized by now, huh? Okay. So these are in Twitter DMs, and they are on the record. So we are okay with sharing, or we are okay. They are okay with us sharing this. All right. The question was asked: when did you realize that reimbursements had not been distributed to the invited players, and what was done by your organization after you realized that the invited players hadn't been paid? From Qatar FGC, their response was, even before the tournament, we kept asking them to make sure they pay on time, and that we needed to make sure the payments come out as soon as possible. We didn't want any player to leave empty-handed. We got confirmation that first and third players got paid, but not Mr. Crimson. We have given up on Nyoibo. We have given up on Nyoibo paying, and we'll be working on getting him paid as soon as we can, and we'll be making sure he gets his earned prize. So big ups to Qatar FGC for kind of handling the mess that Nyoibo left after, they kind of just hung out the FGC to dry. But yeah, Nyoibo just kind of up and disappeared after their tournament. And if you don't remember, this is what the tournament looked like. There is no audio in this video, but that's okay. This is what it looked like. Now, if you notice, there's a couple of things that make me worry even further. Let's back it up just a little bit. Whoops, too far. There's a Red Bull fridge back there, right? So it seems like Red Bull was involved with this in some way, shape, or form. Virtuosity, which is the esports theme park, or the video game theme park in Doha, not only was party to this, but they also used it for advertising, right? This is their advertisement. Oh, geez, there's the audio. This is the Virtuosity advertisement of the event. After the event, they put together this reel, which is used for advertising purposes. So that's cool. That's pretty nice. So, they put this together to kind of show off their accomplishment. And there's one more here. Where to go? There's a post they made on their Facebook page saying, "Hey, thanks to Nyoibo and everybody for showing up. This was great for us, etc., etc., etc." This proves that even in 2022, we're still we still have to be very wary about these crazy opportunities, right? We still have to be careful about getting people paid on time, getting people paid in general. So let this be, I wish there was an easier solution to this, and I'm really happy that the Qatar FGC crew is handling this the best they can, and they're going to try to make it right the best they can. But yeah, man, it's really unfortunate. This sucks. The fact that Nyoibo just kind of disappeared. Something else that they started, that they were advertising during the tournament was this, which is an arcade stick. Now, this is just a 3D render of an arcade stick, so who knows if this was actually a thing or not. But now it's not. So, here we are. That was like one of the only things that they were also advertising during the tournament. Now, they had people from Nyoibo at the end of the tournament come hand people the big checks, hand people their trophies and all this other stuff. So it's really bizarre trying to figure out like what they were doing, why they were doing it, and then to just disappear, right? It's unfortunate. It sucks, and I hope it doesn't happen again. So, and if you're from Nyoibo, please like reach out to Mr. Crimson and Kami and make this shit right, because that's not cool. Stop it. Stop it, you dinguses. Stop it. Stop scamming people. But yeah, at the end of the day, money was stolen. Money that was promised was not given, which is stealing, I think. At least I personally would classify it as stealing. And, luckily Mr. Crimson is not fully dependent on income from fighting games, so he'll be okay. But there could have been another player that was solely dependent on income from fighting games that would have been very screwed on not receiving that money. So, yep. Fellow co-hosts, does anybody else have anything to say? Did you guys watch the Nyoibo Colosseum? Did you guys have any thoughts? And again, I just want to shout out Sharpie. Sharpie was the one that brought this up and did a lot of the journalism for it. She reached out to the Qatar FGC crew, got a lot of information, and like really put this together. So big ups to Sharpie. Sharpie does a podcast with Yohozi. So if you go to Sharpie's Twitter, every other week they record a podcast with Yohozi, and it is a very amazing podcast. You should go watch it. It's been on my to watch list for a while, and I finally got a little bit into it this past week. It's great, and I can't wait to listen to more.